Tonight, awaiting the ADM Showcase. Canola producers are gearing up for the annual event, ready to tackle some hot-button topics. Plus, looking ahead, how the process of selecting the Lloydminster RCMP detachment's next commander is coming along, and
if the community didn't donate the items and the community didn't buy the stuff, we wouldn't have a festival of trees.
Maidstone's annual holiday event is underway and already exceeding expectations.
This is Newcap News with Nicole Stilger.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. The Teen Drug Symposium is underway at the Civic Center this evening, and that's where we find our Adam Macvicker. Adam, tell me what's going on there and what the symposium is all about.
Yes, Nicole, so the Lloydminster Youth Council is here alongside Lloydminster RCMP, and what they're doing is they're putting on a bit of a drug forum tonight as part of Project 180, and I'm standing here with Che Lupel. She is with the Lloydminster Youth Council. Now, Che, what's going on here this evening?
It's a drug forum called hashtag 180 Alert. It's about giving kids knowledge about the effects of drugs, more specifically fentanyl, and just showing them that there's a better path to take than one that involves drugs, and that there are better choices to make than.
Now, I guess Project 180, a very interesting name. Why is it called Project 180?
It's called Project 180 because it's about turning your life around, getting on another path, not continuing down the same one, and making better life choices.
So I guess why is it important to speak to youth about this sort of about the dangers with drugs?
It's important because if they don't learn about it now, they will make really bad choices, really bad mistakes that they will regret later on in life, where it'll be more difficult to change, get on the right path, and make better life choices than they have.
Well, perfect. Thank you, Che. And of course, they're going to be here till 8 p.m. this evening here at the Civic Center. They're watching a bit of a video in there that the Lloydminster Bobcats shot out in East Hastings to show kind of a dark reality when it comes to drug use. And of course, we're going to have all of this for you guys tomorrow on Newcap News. Nicole, back to you.
All right, Adam, thank you so much. That's Adam Macvicker joining us from the Civic Center this evening. Well, a gas leak in Lloydminster Saturday night temporarily forced some people out of nearby businesses. The incident happened around 11 o'clock, the result of a vehicle collision in the 3600 block of 50th Avenue. About half an hour later, ATCO gas personnel attended the scene and were able to isolate the leak. There were no injuries and no residential evacuations required. The city activated its Emergency Operations Center as a precautionary measure. Canola producers are just a few sleeps away from the annual ADM Farm Showcase. This year's guest speakers will tackle some of the hot-button topics canola growers are facing, including the need to use better disease-resistant hybrids. Gerard Lampow reports.
I think one of the major issues affecting the canola industry is that we have 20 million acres of canola. So our success in growing the crop up to 20 million acres has created some issues.
Dr. Greg Gingera leads a canola breeding team with Dow Agrosciences in Saskatoon. He's returning to Lloydminster this Thursday for another stint as one of the feature speakers at this year's ADM Farm Showcase. He says tight rotations have increased disease pressure concerns across the prairies.
Blackleg disease is one of the major diseases. Sclerotinia disease is a second one. Of course, as we see clubroot spreading throughout Alberta, we're starting to see much more emphasis on the presence of clubroot, particularly in the Lloydminster area.
Gingera studied both at the University of Manitoba and did his PhD on multiple resistance genes in sweet corn in Minnesota. He returned to Saskatoon in 1996 and encourages producers to seed resistant varieties.
I think blackleg is starting to see a resurgence. There's a cycle of which blackleg starts to become a bit of a problem, and then there are some resistant varieties or hybrids that are released, and then blackleg starts to recycle back into grower concerns, and we're certainly seeing that situation in Western Canada.
Gingera will speak on using potash resistance hybrids and the benefits that may have in your rotation.
So it's not only the hybrid itself, whether it has the tolerance traits, but whether the field is agronomically suitable to consider for direct harvest or straight cutting.
ADM's Farm Showcase runs from 1 to 5 p.m. this Thursday at the Vic Juba Community Theatre. Gerard Lampow, Newcap News.
Well, last week we caught up with Staff Sergeant Brent Sawatzky as he shared some of the positive results of the detachment's crime reduction strategies. Further to that conversation, he also shared what's next for the Lloydminster RCMP in terms of selecting its next commander. You will not be staying here in Lloydminster permanently, as I understand as well. The process is underway to find the detachment's next commander. Where is that currently at?
Currently, there has been a member identified, and there's a bit of a process now with respect to working with the city, with our executive development program out of Ottawa, and the district commander, Chief Superintendent Shaheen Medizadeh, has worked very closely and pushed very hard and is working closely with the new mayor and council. So I suspect in the coming weeks we will be hear something. In the interim, I'll still be here, doing my best to work with this detachment. I mean, I must say, during my time here in the past 4 months, the Lloydminster is very fortunate to have the young men and women that they have working for them. They're doing an incredible job. We do have things that are coming up again with our school resource positions and all the different work that's being done out there. In fact, we're at a point now where the April 8th of 2017, we're going to be hosting in conjunction, with Midwest Victim Services, a community regimental ball. So it gives the community opportunity to come and spend time with us. Learn some of the traditions and that we've followed over the last 100 and almost 50 years, and it's going to be a great evening. So stay tuned for that. There's more coming on that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Staff Sergeant Brent Sawatzky.
Thank you.
It's the start of the holiday season in Maidstone as the 9th annual Festival of Trees gets underway. Once again, the small community has exceeded organizers' expectations. Brian Lentz has more.
If the community didn't donate the items and the community didn't buy the stuff, we wouldn't have a Festival of Trees.
It's only the first day of the festival, and already the organizing Red Hat Society says they have more donated items than last year.
We're well on our way past what we had last year. I would say like about 50 items more already than last year, and things dribble in all week long.
Last year, the festival raised more than $13,000, and all proceeds go towards the health complex.
We've bought equipment for the ambulance when they haven't been able to afford it. This year, we actually purchased a big fancy stretcher for the ambulance. We built a gazebo to give the residents shade outside.
But the festival does more than just buy items for patients at the complex.
A lot of these people would have done a lot of this stuff before they came into the nursing home, so it's always good that they're part of the community still. We don't just sort of lock them away and forget about them, and and they get real pleasure out of seeing people come.
As the festival has grown, it's become a lot of work for the small group of 9 Red Hatters.
We're now all over the age of 60. We need help. We need younger people to come and help put up the snowflakes, set up the tables, put out the stuff.
There's lots to see at the Maidstone Festival of Trees, from kitchen supplies to Christmas trees to live entertainment later in the week. The silent auction bidding closes at 8 p.m. on Saturday. Brian Lentz, Newcap News.
And the city's annual Christmas craft fair on the weekend drew in quite the crowd, leaving business owners thrilled about current and future sales. Josh Ryan has more.
Any apprehension over turnout for the Lloydminster Christmas Craft Fair was erased the moment the doors of the Exhibition Association opened this weekend. Thousands of shoppers walked down the aisles of the show, something that has become a staple of the border city over the past few years.
There's a lot of regulars that do this every year, and they aren't stopping.
Some business owners, both local and non-local, have attended the fair for more than 20 years, as it's become one of their key events.
It's nice to see people coming and people meet here, and it's a fun gathering place.
It's always busy, and the customers, they're here to buy stuff.
In addition to serving as a starting point to the Christmas season for many shoppers, the interest in buying from home-based businesses has contributed to the show's expansion.
I think that small town feel and old-fashioned country service, I think that that's something that people really cherish still.
It's manufactured very well because they're doing it on their own at home, and they're trying to make it the best that they can.
Merton says food-based businesses have fared better than others in the last 2 years of economic downturn.
Some of the other vendors that have the higher ticketed items, like the paintings and stuff. They're having a little tougher time this year. Our sales are pretty close to what they've always been.
However, with the influx of potential customers attending this weekend, there's a sense of optimism moving forward.
It's a really good day today, and it's jam-packed, and so I think the feel is out there, and I think the economy is starting to turn around, and people want to shop.
Josh Ryan, Newcap News.
Big Brothers Big Sisters has been a staple group for children and adults alike in Lloydminster for decades. And as the program evolved over the years, there's one need that has remained the same. Gina Martin has more in this week's edition of Retrospect.
Youth organizations would not exist in the community at all. You name me, youth organizations, Big Brothers Big Sisters, Scouts, Brownies, figure skating, they all wouldn't happen because they are all dependent on volunteers. There's just no way. People cannot foot the bill.
But this group has some incredibly dedicated volunteers, including Rich McLean, a big brother of 23 years who's been matched with 4 kids.
So Rich has been a big brother, a board member, a volunteer fundraiser. He's done it all, and he's done it well.
And it's that kind of support the group needs.
Despite our very best efforts in recruitment, we still have 40 children who need a big brother or a big sister. And what are we to do? We also had 29 parents who telephoned to put their children into our program. Those 29 calls represented 48 more children needing our services.
To respond to this need, a new program's being developed, matching 2 adults with a group of children who are currently waiting for a one-on-one match.
Well, it should come as no surprise that the demand for volunteers still remains high today. Currently, the organization has 39 Big Brothers Big Sisters matches and couples matches, and 8 in-school mentor matches, with a wait list of 37.
Today our numbers are a little bit different because we do rely on not only our program volunteers, which would be our Big Brother, Big Sister and our in-school mentors, but we also rely on members of the community and members of our agency to help the fundraising portion of it.
Fundraising supports 55% of the group's initiatives. And with Christmas around the corner, Big Brothers Big Sisters will be holding a Giving Tuesday on November 29th, following Black Friday and Cyber Monday. For more information, visit their website. That's all for Retrospect this week. I'm Gina Martin.
Well, this weekend was a special one for the Bobcats as their parents came to support the team for the annual Parents Weekend. It was an exciting game on Friday against the Eagles, and there's no doubt the Bobcat moms and dads were the good luck charms. Bailey Nitty has more.
The Canmore Eagles were in town on Friday night, a team ranked 5th in the South Division standings. The Bobcats scored 3 times in the first period. Zach Kaiser, Scott Ivey, and Wilson Northey with those goals. Not much action in the second, but Eagles forward Mitch Zambin buries one to make it 3-1. Third period, Nolan Crothers with the goal, and that would do it. Final score 4-1 for the Bobcats.
That's a good hockey team over there. They got a lot of firepower offensively, and I thought we tightened up and played really well. That's probably our most complete game.
The energy didn't carry into Saturday's game as the Cats fell 5-1 to the Calgary Canucks, the second best team in the South. Now the focus is getting 4 points on the road. The guys board the bus to Drayton Valley on Tuesday to take on the Thunder and will be in Sherwood Park to play the Crusaders on Wednesday.
We've only had 2 regulation wins all year, and we've been playing well at home, and our last few games away have been close games as well. Hopefully we can get another win away. I don't think we've had one since we played Spruce Grove maybe, so it'd be nice to get another one.
The Bobcats only have 3 home games left before the new year, first of 3 on Saturday, where they will play the Fort Mac Oil Barons. Bailey Nitty, Newcap Sports.
And the Rohan Rage minor midget AAA hockey team has only filed 1 game in the win column this season, sitting with a 1-14-1 record. The Rage lost 4-0 on Sunday to the St. Albert Flyers, the #1 team in the North Division.
They're 13-0, and they've had 11 goals scored against them in 13 games. So 3 goals against and an empty netter. I think that proves that we can play with anybody. We just got to bring it all 60 minutes every game, and that's been one of our challenges all year.
The The Rage have been lacking skill defensively and haven't been capitalizing on scoring opportunities. The standings don't look good for the 15-year-olds, but making playoffs is still the goal.
It's not out of reach. Every game we got to bring it. That's the main focus, and play 100% of the game. No shifts off, and just be ready to play whatever day we're playing.
The Rage are in for a tough one on Saturday. They play Sherwood Park Squires, who are 8-2 in the North Division. The game is at home, and they're hoping the atmosphere at the Civic will give them some positive energy.